Hello, I'm David Rees, one of the ministers of the Ipswich and East United Reformed Churches, 5 churches in East Suffolk, working together to bring about God's kingdom in a small way in each of our locations. Synod might recognise the building behind me. It's Castle Hill United Reformed Church, where we met in October last year. Castle Hill is one of the churches, and at this stage the only one that has achieved the Bronze Eco Church Award. But all 5 churches are working in their way to bring about the integrity of creation in buildings, in challenging people to do that bit that helps, that supports biodiversity, lowering carbon emissions. Here we are, and we're not doing anything greatly different to everyone else, but what we have found is that working together, we encourage each other.
At St John's in Ipswich, we continue as we develop and maintain our building to do what we can to ensure that we minimise our carbon footprint and have a positive impact from an ecological point of view. At the front of the church we had a densely planted area of land which, unfortunately, due to 2 separate road collisions, one involving an ambulance, the planting was damaged and had to be removed, but we're now replanting and have considered how we can encourage biodiversity through this. In Leiston, we were blessed to develop the area of land adjacent to the church, which was of no use particularly to the church or the community, into this wonderful community space with support from the Synod and the Community Land Trust. Planting and provision of things such as bird boxes were important in this development to ensure that we had a positive impact in as many ways as possible. Mounted high on the wall at the rear of the premises, you'll find we have Swift boxes. Here you can see the Swifts checking them out, and just below the one on the left you can see a Swift attracting device. In Saxmundham we have a traditional churchyard at the rear of the premises. We consulted Suffolk Wildlife Trust to advise us on how best to maintain this for biodiversity, but to make it accessible to visitors. Also, in collaboration with the other churches in the group, we've recently installed a bug hotel. Here in Felixstowe we make use of the land adjacent to the church to provide a quiet space for human visitors, but also to attract as wide a variety as possible of insects, birds and other creatures. The garden is beautifully maintained, ensuring a variety of flowers throughout the season and different forms of foliage to meet the needs of the various creatures that might make use or a home of the area. The building at Castle Hill is Grade 2 listed because of its innovative 1950s style and design. When the roof had to be replaced, we added as much insulation as possible whilst working within the constraints of its listed status. We have land surrounding the church and we participate in No Mow May, leaving the grass as long and for as long as possible to encourage the insects and other wildlife. We're currently looking to replace all the windows and ultimately the roof of the sports hall at the rear of the church building. We're also hoping to place some solar panels on the roof, both to help us with our energy costs, but also as an example and message to the surrounding community. In March 2023, we welcomed Jeremy Flack, the Synod Green advocate, who presented Len Green, our Caring for Creation lead, with the Bronze Award. Of course, the event was marked by the sharing of cake.
It was quite a challenge gaining our Bronze Award. A new high-efficiency boiler, changing to LED lighting throughout, double glazing, seeking advice from the Suffolk Wildlife Trust on rewilding the church grounds. It all helped. To achieve this, Castle Hill URC had formed a Caring for Creation group to coordinate our environmental activities. Just like the other 4 churches in the Ipswich and East URC pastorate, we feed into a pastorate-wide Caring for Creation group. This meets regularly to share experiences between churches and also to discuss environmental initiatives. It means that no individual church has to reinvent the wheel by pursuing an idea that's already been tried and tested by another church. It gives us a forum to bounce ideas and proposals between each other. Resulting from all this, most of the churches now have bug hotels fitted. And some have even gone further and have got some really good nesting boxes. Another has taken up that idea of approaching the Wildlife Trust for advice. Seeking centres for recycling blister packs, mobile phones and other recyclable materials is a task that's shared between the churches. And we report back to our congregations not just through our individual church newsletters, but through the eco section of a pastorate-wide newsletter. Now we know that compared to many churches, we at Castle Hill and our other churches have a long way to go on our eco journey. But by coordinating the environmental initiatives of individual churches through a central Caring for Creation group helps each church to achieve its environmental targets in a much shorter time. Also, if local environmental lobbying is required, the voices of 5 churches are much stronger than 1. It also emphasising that caring for God's creation is at the centre of our Christian journey.